everybody, welcome to another edition of Toddster's Magical Mystery Review. I'm your host Toddster, and as you can see, I'm back in the old set. Yeah, my living room, that is. I'm thinking of redecorating my bedroom to make it more presentable. But in the meantime, I'm here today to talk about Red Rose Speedway from Paul McCartney and Wings. Came out May 4th, 1973 on Apple Records, and yeah, so by this time, Wings expanded their lineup a bit. They added Henry McCulloch from Joe Cocker's Grease band, and it's been 18 months since they last put out an album, Wildlife, and yeah, but since then, they toured, they started touring universities and then do a tour of Europe and put out some singles, which I forgot to mention in the last poll review. Yeah, so they put out Give Ireland Back to the Irish, which was banned from the BBC. Mary Had a Little Lamb, which sort of turned some heads a bit, and then Hi Hi / Sea Moon, which I'll talk about later in this review. But yeah, so between gigs and they made this album, and they actually Paul originally wanted to put it out as a double album. But with the failure of Wings Life, EMI said no, just put on a single album, and so he did, and it's a pretty okay album. But I'll tell you about it. But in the meantime, let's talk about the songs. So we start off with Big Barn Bed. It's an okay boogie woogie type number, which Paul wrote during the Ram sessions. In fact, the opening line you could hear back in the Ram-On reprise. Who's that coming round that corner? Yeah, and then we go into the big hit, My Love. Yep, it's a love song. It's a love song from Paul to Linda, and yeah, it was recorded with a live orchestra. That was playing with the band. But yeah, and it has a great, amazing guitar solo from McCulloch, and yeah, it's a classic ballad, And then we go into the Get On the Right Thing. Yeah, not much to say about this song. So One More Kiss, nice little song. Again, nothing to say. And then we end the first side. Little Lamb, Dragonfly. Now, to me, this is the best song of the album, in my opinion, which actually was recorded during the Ram sessions, and yet they later put in harmonies afterwards. But yeah, so there are many interpretations of this song. Some think that it's about the loss of one of Paul's pet sheep, Some say, it's about Paul turning vegetarian. And some say, it's a little reply, little cry out to John, since you've gone, I never know, I go on, but I miss you so, something like that. But, yeah, and it's almost as if, Paul went prog on this song, and yeah, it's beautiful number, very beautiful. And then flip the record, single Pigeon, just a little ditty, that's all. When the Nights, yeah, it's a nice, but yeah, nice and somewhat beautiful song. But then we go into Loop or Lope, First Indian on the Moon. That's an instrumental which sort of goes all over the place, and just skip it. And then we go into the medley. Hold Me Tight, Lazy Dynamite, Hands of Love, and Power Cut. Yeah, Paul sort of tries to repeat the Abbey Road medley formula, but it sort of falls flat, to be honest. But yeah, so it starts with Hold Me Tight, not to be confused with that other Hold Me Tight, which he wrote 10 years ago. But you know, as much as I'm not too crazy about that Hold Me Tight. This Hold Me Tight still, you know, well, it's not as great as the other one, to be honest. But you know, on the other hand, you have Lazy Dynamite, you know, great harmonies, and Hands of Love, you know, has a bit of charm, has some charm in it, with those little human horns, you know. Oh, sorry, I keep confused with that Lady Madonna somewhat, but anyway, and Power Cuts, you know, nothing to say about it, but anyway, so that's the album. But let's talk about the bonus songs that came out when it was re-released on CD back in '93. Yeah, so it starts off with Sea Moon. Yeah, Paul was so inspired by the song Woolly Bully, Sam the Shannon and the Pharaohs. Yeah, it mentioned about L7, you know, sort of like, you know, a square, you know, take it apart, L7. And Paul thought, you know, well, what about, you know, if you make a moon, you take it apart, it's a sea moon. Yeah, so, but interesting, you know, Paul plays piano, while Denny Lane plays bass, and Henry McCulloch plays the drums, and Denny Sywell, the drummer, he plays the xylophone, and yeah, it's an okay number. And then we go into the other side of that single, Hi Hi Hi. Yeah, this is yet another song banned by the BBC. You know, they thought, you know, they had some drug references, you know, the title, of course, and some sexual references. You know, they thought they heard something about a body gun, and Paul was like, no, it's polygon, you know, get ready for my polygon, not bodygon. But anyway, yeah, it's a great little rocker, you know, one of my favorite songs of his. But and then we go into The Mess. Now this was the B-side of My Love, and was recorded live at the Hague in somewhere in the Netherlands. And yeah, well, this one's a bit of a mess, no pun intended, but you know, just my opinion, you know, just me. But and then we go into I Lie Around. Now this is the B-side to Live and Let Die. I'm not sure why they didn't put this. They didn't put Live and Let Die as one of the bonus songs, you know, when it should. But anyway, yeah, this is the first song that features they put out that features Denny Lane on the lead vocals, and yeah, this one's okay number. Yet, you know, it's pretty cool to hear Denny Lane take the lead, and yeah. So yeah, so there you have it. But yeah, so what do I think about this album? Well, it's a bit of unfocused album, to be honest, and you know, yeah, a bit disjointed on some parts, but you know, a couple great songs on the album, and you know, and as I mentioned, you know, this was supposed to be a double album, but you know, if I would have like looked at the original track listing for the double album, and I've heard some songs that was going to be on the you know, Tragedy, Mama's Little Girl, and a couple others, but yeah, they should have been on this album. You know, I would have traded for you know like the Lope song, or you know, and Single Pigeon, you know. Yeah, it's an okay album, you know. Not his not one of his best, but they're working on it. They're working on getting on the right thing, you know, to be on. But anyway, as far as ranking, I would give this 2 poles out of 5. So there you have it. Paul McCartney and Wings, Red Rose Speedway. So my name is Toddster. I just watched another Magical Mystery review, and I'll see you next time. Till then, toodaloo.